You're probably wondering, where is it, G? There it is. Let me get my pen. I didn't do that yet. Forgive me, like I just spent my brain's a little fried after whenever my mom's had a tough day, it's a tough day for G as well. All right, so there it is. 29 degrees and 59 minutes. You see that? 29:59. Nice, big, bold, bam, in your face. Sam, I am. You see that? 29:59. What's the date? June 11th. I know. The countdown is on. Like we got a full moon coming up in 2 days, Friday or Saturday, the 3rd of June. And then we have June 11th, 2023, Pluto back into Capricorn, 29:59. So I already gave you the outer story. I talked to you about Pluto. I talked about Capricorn. I talked about what they would mean when they come together, right? Now, let's see what else is happening. Like, and how are we going to know that? We're going to take a quick look at some of the other things and their locations. What I think is super fascinating, and it's just a moon thing, but I think it's important to look at here. And I'm going to flip my color around a little bit here for you guys. And we're just going to go to green. What the hell? Look at the moon and Neptune. This chart, just so you know, this chart is written up for the moment, the hour that Pluto goes to 29:59. Would you look at this freaking moon in Pisces and Neptune are conjunct. They're exact. You see the stellium, of course, right? Stellium meaning all the same planets in one sign, beginning with Saturn, right? And then there's Nessa at 18. But then you've got the big deal that I've been talking about, which is you've got Neptune there and the moon together. Holy crap. The moon is emotions, it's feelings, it's family, emotional needs. It's the public as well. Humanity is my family. That's the macro. And it's in Cancer. So it's in Pisces. So there's something interesting about Pisces energy, which can mean a lot of different things, and it can be very confusing for people. And the word confusing is perfect for Pisces. It is a Pisces keyword. Confusion makes things kind of fuzzy and unclear and blurry. You know, like my mom is going through a lot of confusion right now. She's got Alzheimer's. So there's a lot of moments of like, what the hell is going on? It's confusing. And it's conjunct Neptune. So our emotions, there's something about our emotions. And Neptune being there, Neptune has the ability, right? It rules Pisces, so it's strong. But Neptune has the ability to kind of like, it can be soothing, especially if we use sound. Neptune's all about sound, but it is Hollywood, right? We know there's a writer's strike on that's been going on for a while now, right? And Hollywood is also Pisces. Yep, it's also Pisces. The moon is also feminine energy and women, the moon. But that's not all. Like there's so many keywords. There's so many different ways this can look because it's fantasy, it's sci-fi, it's anybody putting on a performance. This can also be hospitals, right? This can be me going to the doctor, Pisces energy, a healing institution of some sort, Pisces energy. But it can be, Pisces can make people sleep because it's sleep and dreamy, right? We get visuals and sound and music. Healing with sound, strong, when you do like the sound therapy, like the gongs and the water bowls, like the Tibetan water bowl type of stuff. So there's a lot of different ways, soothing, healing, understanding. That's all Pisces energy. Understanding, unity and oneness, prayer and meditation. It's all the I want to go and sit by the water and just chill and be relaxed. And I might even want to have a little sippy sip. That's Pisces. It's substances. Doesn't even have to be a drink, whatever your pleasure is. That's Pisces. It's the substance. It helps you relax and escape. Calgon, take me away, right? That's Pisces. So however you need to do that. Now, what else is going on at this time? I think there's some interesting things here, and I got to back this one up because it's going to actually send us trine energy, which I think is fascinating. Look at Mercury, guys. You see Mercury there? Mercury and Sedna. This is on the day. I can't make this shit up. They're together, like exactly together. Not just the day. This is the hour. The hour. The hour when I got on my software, when I backed it up by the hour, when it was at 29:59. Look at this. Mercury at 29:56 next to Sedna, which is kind of like that Scorpio energy of, hey, I've been injured, I've been wounded, and there might be some hell to pay here now, right? There better be some recognition, there better be some acknowledgement, there better be, dare I say the word submission, but it's a strong transformative energy. It's taking that pain, it's taking those hurts about my values. It's Taurus, so it's my values, but it's also the earth. Let's not forget that. And then Mercury, the news, information, something going on in the news, something major, something big. I put eye drops in yesterday and I was kind of like, oh shit, should I do this? You guys who have watched the other video, you know what I'm talking about. We had a subscriber who left a message about eye drops with the Jupiter and North Node conjunction. And so, anyway, I didn't have any problems at all. They were my own eye drops, not prescribed. And they're not really eye drops like medical ones. I use holistic stuff, a lot of holistic stuff. And they work so darn well. I love them. I don't use them often, only when I have events like I had yesterday. My eyes, I couldn't believe it. It was crazy. Okay. So news, Mercury, communications, text messages, emails, phone calls, social media, just something's going to catch our attention. It's conjunct Sedna, but that's not all. There's more, folks. There is more. I'm going to back the chart up and I'm going to show you what else is going on. Pay attention to the sun as well in Gemini. Gemini is also the news, information. It's all about learning and sharing information. Pressing the send button, Mercury rules Gemini. The sun is in it, though. The sun is usually an authority figure in general, an authority figure, right? And it's interesting because the sun's getting very close to Juno. Juno is partnerships. So there's like something about business here and trade. Because Gemini is the stock market, it's the housing market, it's real estate, it's commercial real estate. Like, yeah, that's Gemini energy in general. All right. The sun, and then there's this partnership energy here. All right. So I'm just kind of giving out all the different keywords that match the planets and their locations. And I want to keep it that way because there's a whole lot of different things that could be happening here. I'm going to keep these here, and then I'm going to go and draw the trine. Now, if anybody who follows astrology, you know that if Mercury's at 29 and Sedna at 29 in Taurus, we know that we just heard me say those same degrees in another Earth sign. And those degrees were Pluto at 29, 29:59. Right. This is a trine. This is a grand Earth trine, but it's two of them. One from Sedna and one from Mercury. There are two grand air trines. I said air. Two grand Earth trines. Capricorn is Earth and so is Taurus. So you see that? You see that, right? I drew it in blue. Mercury and Sedna trining. They're both Earth, like energies trine. Earth and Earth is a trine. A trine means it adds ease in some way. So Pluto, whatever the hell Pluto's going to be doing, we're going to hear about it. we're going to hear about because we're going to hear about Mercury's involved. Mercury shares the information. Mercury can't keep its mouth closed. Mercury loves learning. It loves delivering information. It loves sharing what it's learned. That's what Mercury does. It collects data and information. But remember, folks, always be cautious with Mercury. Just in general, don't go by what you see, the headline, or what's the title of the video or the title of an article. Read the whole damn article, okay? Read the whole article. That's, we got, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. When I'm in a rush, sometimes I'll see a headline, or a title of a video, and I'm like, oh damn, really? So I'm right there with you. I get it. But just remember that about Mercury in general. Okay. I'm not saying that's what it's going to do. I'm not saying it's playing tricks on you. I don't think so. Pluto doesn't play games. Pluto don't play. I can guarantee you that. So when you have a trine between Mercury and Pluto with Sedna, ooh, it's getting hot in here for somebody and some people who are powerful. June 11th, woo, somebody might be getting some bad news on this day. And I would not want to be that person. Now, let's move over to Venus. Venus is in her Leo energy at 5 degrees. Venus is now in Leo here. Yeah, we know Venus is going to be doing a retrograde. I got like a 3-video series out about that. Venus doing a retrograde in Leo. Venus is in Leo for like 6 months. You might want to go check those videos out if you haven't, to see, find out what house your Leo energy is in. If you don't know, comment below. Venus is about to get close to Mars here. Okay, so remember, Venus is our values. It is our money. It rules the Taurus energy. Okay, it rules Taurus. The other thing we should know is that when Venus goes into Leo, for here anyway, think of people who are prominent Leo people. Just in general, prominent Leo people. Because what's going to be happening, think about this, okay? This Venus, as she travels through Leo for this amount of time, she's going to be angling all of the fixed energy in Taurus and Scorpio, the opposite, because these are the fixed signs. And you see, they're not the same energy. Scorpio is water. Leo is fire. Taurus is earth. All right. Which means that as Venus does her retrograde, I'm going to use a different color for this one. As Venus does her retrograde, she is going to be angling up and squaring Scorpio and Taurus. Okay. And that is not going to be a short thing, because she travels and goes all the way to like 28 degrees. She's almost done. She's almost done in Leo. And then she goes all the way back and then goes all the way forward again, which means she will be squaring anything in your chart in Taurus and Scorpio from 12 degrees of Taurus and 12 degrees of Scorpio all the way until 28 degrees of Taurus and 28 degrees of Scorpio. Okay, I know this chart, because it's just the chart of the moment, doesn't give a great example, because I don't have any planets here in Scorpio, because there's just not anything here except our south node right now. But for you and your chart, that's what matters. That's what matters. What is in your chart at those degrees? That's why I give the degrees. 12 degrees to 28 degrees in Taurus and Scorpio. Now, just so that we're all clear, when Venus does a square, it doesn't always mean a bad thing, folks. No. Matter of fact, it can be very beneficial, actually, because it's values. There might be some challenges. There might be a little bit of tension, but that little bit of tension is to like it's a good tension. It's a good tension. Like when you kind of get stuck in a rut and you kind of been doing something the old way, or you kind of feel as though, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have any options. What's going to be the solution? And then somebody presents an idea and you're like, what? I didn't think of that. And then you're thinking, well, damn, I don't know if I could do that. But then you're like, it kind of pushes you out of a comfort zone in a way, kind of, because we're dealing with fixed energy. And the thing I want to stress here is that both Scorpio and Taurus energy when I say they're fixed signs, they become attached. Attached. Remember Taurus is the magnet? So when I'm magnetic, when I'm being magnetic, when I'm that flower out in the yard and the bee comes to it, it just comes right to it. The butterflies, right? Everybody comes to the flower. It's magnetic. It draws it right in, right? And if I'm a Venus flytrap, that's what I do. I close up and I hold on to it and I eat that damn thing, right? Remember Venus flytrap, because it's magnetic and it holds on to it. And that's how it eats, apparently. But it's an attachment. It becomes attached to something or someone. And what happens with that is then we become non-flexible. And remember, the word flexible at the end, you put a BULL on there instead of the way we normally spell it, because that tells you about your bull energy, your Taurus energy, and how it just gets so fixated. It's like, have a little bit of, maybe consider some other options. Maybe listen to what somebody else has to say. And Venus is a great person to present those options, because Venus can present things in a friendly, beautiful way, but especially a fun and entertaining way, because she's in Leo. When Venus is in Leo, she's pretty darn playful. She wants to laugh. She wants it to be fun and entertaining. She wants to have a good time. You see? So although at first it might feel like, I'm a little uncomfortable with this. Well, no shit, you're going to be uncomfortable. But let's be real. Sometimes we just get fixed and we need that little challenge. And it's just a little one. It shouldn't be anything too major. The only way it would be something major is if you've got things, like a lot of things. But even then, if it's just a Venus squaring it, I'd say just be prepared for a little bit of change and welcome it and see where it takes you. You might be surprised. You might be surprised. The thing about this time, though, in particular, is Pluto. That is the thing about this time, isn't it? Because we know that Pluto is going back into Capricorn to take a look at the people who have power, the people who have wealth and money, the people who are also in government. And how is it that the ones who are in government and the ones who have the wealth, and how it's the one hand washes the other, and how the little people aren't truly being looked after, aren't truly being represented, and are the little people, if we're not being represented, then we have to ask ourselves, aren't we ready to have people that represent us? And I'm not just talking about the president of the United States, because I know that's the first person everybody thinks to in their head. Yeah. And it's, yeah. And I know it's complicated. And again, I don't want to make this about all of that, but this is what it is. And this is so big of a deal for the United States, the country. This is such a huge deal. This is a major, major thing. So we have to kind of reevaluate who we are as the people, who has voted people in or not voted for people, or whatever, whatever our role was. And we have to realize that to some degree, if there are abuses going on, to some degree, we also play a role in that. We also have some responsibility in that. How could we not? Unless you aren't alive and breathing and you can't vote, then that's the only way. But for anybody who is alive and breathing and who can vote, we all in a way do have, we've somehow played a role in that. And so that's just to say that we are, paying attention now, probably more than we ever have before. And Pluto is paying attention too. And wherever Pluto goes, it's there to make changes at a very deep level. And it is going to get rid of the rot. It is going to replace the rot. That is Pluto's job. Okay. So for you in your life, in your chart, where is 29 degrees Pluto? Do you have anything at 28 and 27? Because Pluto's coming back there. And that is not for you to get like all crazy and freaked out in your own chart. Like, hey, Pluto's coming back to me at 29, 28, 27. Am I in trouble? You already lived through this. Okay. The United States has already lived through this, but we know what happened when Pluto got to here. It was not looking good for people who were in charge. Lots of things happen, and there's a reason. So there's a trine energy. You see it in the blue. There's Venus that's going to be doing her thing for the next 6 months, right? And yeah, we see that the nodes at 3, Jupiter's now at 5 here, Uranus is at 20, Astraea at 21, Vesta at 25. And I know I have a lot of things on this chart that I haven't talked about and I'm not going to talk about, but I will add to that if you're confused by any of these glyphs, there's a 2-video series out that just came up about a week ago. And it talks about every glyph you see here on this chart. It gives you the definition, a small definition for some of them, a big definition for others. And you get a close-up of the symbol of the glyph. And that will help. It will help if you have your chart. And if you don't, let me put it to you like this. If you're watching my videos and you have your own chart, and let's say that your chart doesn't look like this chart. It's not that one is worse or better, but if you're watching these videos because you want to learn, it would make sense to learn with the chart in your hand that matches the chart I'm looking at. Because every chart system is different, meaning the style is different, right? But it would help you. It would expedite, I would think. It would expedite, the way that you're learning if the chart in your hand looked like the chart that I'm looking at. Because even some systems use different symbols. Not like crazy different, but there might be slight differences. Okay? So, Pluto is coming, and it's going to do a thorough job, but just be sure to remember it doesn't have to be something big and bad in your chart. All right? It can be a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. If you're concerned, if you don't know, if you need to know, if you're concerned and you don't know and you want to know, if you just want your own chart, all you got to do is comment below. Talk to me. Let me know how I can help you. And that is our Pluto retrograde back into the sign of Capricorn for the very first time ever that any of us who are living and breathing today have ever experienced. Like, that's a big deal, man. A big deal. Transformation at a deep level. That's what Pluto does. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Below the video, I'll have all the degrees for those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart. Again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.